coming out today. I know it's really, really cold, but I appreciate you all coming out and showing your commitment to getting health care reform passed. My name is Veronica De La Cruz, and I'm a journalist. I worked for CNN for 5 years, and right now I work for the TV Guide channel, and I've actually put my entire life on hold to make sure that health care reform passes, and I'll tell you why. I lost my brother on July 4th, 2009. This was after a 5-year fight to try to get him insured. And my brother suffered from a heart condition called severe dilated cardiomyopathy, and he passed away at the age of 27 because we couldn't get him insurance. And something that happened repetitively over the course of 5 years as we tried to obtain private insurance for him is a phrase was used over and over again. A phrase that goes like this: pre-existing medical condition. Yeah, that's something that we won't work with. Sorry about that. So the only option we had was to rely on the government. So we fought for 5 years to get federal Medicare disability, which is not easy. It's not easy at all. So the entire time this was going on, I turned to as many people as I could, tried to knock down as many doors as I could, reached out to as many politicians as I could. I started talking about it with my friends, and here I am, I'm working at CNN, and I wanted to keep everything under wraps, because what happens to you when you're a journalist is you start to lose assignments if everybody knows about your personal life. So I never talked about it. But a friend of mine started to talk about it on Twitter, and an amazing thing happened. People started to rally behind my brother's cause, complete strangers. And before I knew it, we had thousands of supporters online who we started to call Eric's Twitter Army. People that I'd never met, people that I had never met before wanted to help me save my brother's life. So it was a complete grassroots campaign to help save my little brother's life, and then celebrities started to get involved. There was a band on the road in the middle of a world tour, 9 Inch Nails, was also touring with Jane's Addiction, and they started selling backstage passes to help save my brother's life. We needed to raise $1 million for a heart transplant. So in days, we raised $1 million, and we went to UCLA Medical Center with the money, and the pressure that we put on politicians like Senator Harry Reid had helped us expedite his Medicare. So now we had Medicare, and we had all this money, and we went to UCLA Medical Center, and they said that still wasn't enough. That we needed something called supplemental insurance. Yep. And the joke is that you can't get supplemental insurance if you have a pre-existing medical condition. So we were right back to square one. And this is why I'm standing here before you today. I went down the list of hospitals. I went through every transplant center I could, and there was finally one that would take my brother. And after we'd fought for 5 years, we walked through those doors, and the doctors told us that we should have been here 2 years ago. They said that my brother was extremely sick and that it was going to be an uphill battle to save his life. The doctor basically told me that my brother was in the grave and they were going to have to dig him out. Regardless, because of all the miracles that had happened, we didn't give up hope. I mean, I did have thousands of people that I'd never met before come to our aid, people that I had never spoken with before, and I can tell you the outreach. I mean, my brother had cards, t-shirts, flowers, teddy bears. I was like, there's no way that we can't have a happy ending here. But the days went by, and my brother's illness progressed, and we didn't make it. So I promised him before he died that I would do everything I could to make sure that this never happened to anybody ever again. That if people were sick, they would be able to get in to see a doctor when they needed to. And the thing is that my brother didn't die because of limits to our technology. We know how to fix his condition. He died because of greed, corruption. What did the insurance companies profit last year? Like $1.5 billion? How much did those CEOs make? And then we look at our politicians, our elected officials, who are continually lining their pockets. Joe Lieberman, over the course of his political career, has taken $3.6 million from pharmaceutical and insurance companies to make sure that he can run a campaign, and he's not the only one. He's not the only one. So please, I ask you guys to follow the money trail whenever you're wondering why we can't get anything done in this country. I mean, campaign finance reform, that obviously is something that we need to take a look at. I mean, besides healthcare reform, that's a whole nother story. We're here to fight for healthcare. We need it now. I've been working with another family in Las Vegas, and they're going through the exact same thing as my brother. Sean Seaman is 33. He just graduated with a degree in criminal justice. He has my brother's illness, and he's dying. Here's the thing, he has insurance. He's covered by Aetna, and they won't cover his transplant.
Because? What is their excuse?
He didn't have the coverage that he was supposed to have through his employer. With my brother, a college student, he worked for a really small web design company that didn't offer benefits at all. In Sean's case, he got benefits, but not the benefits that he needed. I mean, he's sitting here trying to argue with that now. They won't cover a transplant. Right now, he's on oxygen that's been donated for the next 30 days. It's unbelievable.
What's your brother's name?
My brother's name is Veronica De La Cruz. I have his story right here, and I would like to pass it out to all of you. I've set up something symbolically for my brother. It's called Eric's Law. It's a website that I've set up, ericslaw.com. I've been getting people to sign a petition. I just got back from Washington. I've been sharing my brother's story as well as all of your healthcare horror stories with politicians, pushing them to do something. And it's not just Congress, people. We need to lean on the president. He needs to take a position on healthcare reform, and we need to get it passed. So I can sit here and stand before you and say, yes, call your elected officials. But I need you to also put pressure on the White House and talk to your neighbors. Share stories like this, because this is what's getting lost in the debate. This has become a game of political football. Democrats, Republicans, I'm tired of hearing about that. Let's fix the problem. This is the face on the problem. There's a huge problem, and we're losing lives. 122 people die every single day because they can't get access to affordable health care. 45,000 people die every year. 2,500 families will go bankrupt this year. You know what? Mine was one of them. And you would think somebody like me, who was a member of the media, who had access to celebrities who were able to rally to save my brother's life, why couldn't I do anything about it? I couldn't save my brother's life. Can you think about all those people who live in other parts of the country who might not have the same resources? This is a huge problem. It is a dire problem that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now. So, one more time, what do we want?
Healthcare!
When do we want it?
Now! Pass Eric's Law!
Pass Eric's Law.
Please do. Call it Eric's Law.